Alrighty, Lumberjacks, welcome back to another Logging from Scratch episode. Last time we were playing, we had just started to continue on our railroad clearing project there. So we're going to whip back over there and keep cutting. I think I was able to fix the issue we were having with the trailer in the last episode there. It was starting to slide around a little bit when I had the machine on there, but I think it's corrected now. I guess we'll find out as we go here. We still have 2 trees left that we got to knock down to get our $30,000 for the contract. We also get to keep all of the wood from that contract, which is fantastic. I mean, it's not going to give us a crazy amount of money, but it should give us an amount to kind of keep things rolling. Like I said, we're lucky to be staying at our uncle's place right now because he is giving us a pretty good deal. If I had to be paying for hotels and stuff, it would be a pretty expensive life that we'd be living. I am excited to get this stuff all cleaned up because we are going to be heading back to Legion Hills to do a little bit more work. I have one more job on this map after we clear the rail part. It's going to be clearing a hillside, and I'm going to have to rent some equipment to do that. I might even have to get my Tiger Cat brought over here so that we can finish that up. And that one's a little bit more. That one's a $100,000 contract to clear that hill, so we'll be making a good chunk of change off that. So I want to kind of try to burn through this stuff as quickly as possible. Is that our road? No, this was our road. Here we go. Yeah, and once we get this kind of all cleaned up, it'll be a lot better for us to move on. So yeah, for the next part, we'll have to probably rent a buncher, and then we'll load it. And I might just load it onto this trailer. We'll see. We'll see how much we can move there. So we still have this up here. So maybe what we'll do is since we have all this up here, instead of backtracking back and forth, let's bring this trailer up here. We'll load it up with what we have, lock it down, and then we'll worry about the rest after. I'm gonna kind of park this like right about here. Because I still gotta go cut those other trees on the other side, and we got some more to clean up here as well. Okay, so let's get this ugly stuff out of the way. Now, some of these trees are horrendously glitched out, as we saw in the last episode. So we'll try to load on what we can on the trailer here, but there's no guarantees what's going to work and what's not going to work. So this guy here we're going to have to play around with a little bit. So let's shimmy it over this way. Now, I had people asking for a topic of the day. Everybody's been asking me about politics. Now, politics is something I don't generally like to talk about on places like here, because generally if you talk about politics or anything too controversial, it kind of turns into a battle sometimes, especially in the comment section. Now, most of you guys who comment are actually really, really normal, good people. So having conversations about things that are controversial, I think, can be discussed in a pretty okay manner. So regardless of what we discuss on this episode, I'll be definitely keeping an eye on the comments. If anything crazy starts coming out, we'll have to shut that down. But I always say everyone is entitled to their opinion about whatever, and I have no qualms about people's opinions. Whatever you want to believe, you can believe. It's totally up to you. But crapping on other people because you don't like their opinion, I think, is just the one no-go for me that I don't like. I always put it in the perspective of, I don't care what your opinion is, what you believe in. That's entirely up to you. The only time it becomes a problem for me is if you're pushing it on me or someone I know who might be a weaker mindset and is accepting your view just because they're too scared to say no because they don't want to argue with you. That would be kind of the end for me for arguments. But if everyone's just throwing their opinion around and then, backing it up with their own statements of why, and what's wrong with that? The whole purpose of civilization is to be able to talk stuff out and discuss, and that's kind of what the joy is, right? So we're going to try. We're going to hit some, as long as they're within appropriate range, we're going to hit some very controversial topics over the next while. Based on what people recommend and based on things I find on the internet that are controversial. The one thing that's really hard for me to do because of the time frame on these episodes is doing, I guess, current events would be the way I'd put it. So it's really hard for me to do current events because these videos are usually within a month to 2 months apart of when I actually record them. So when I can't really do current events because they'll be really off time by the time you actually see the responses. So I'm trying to keep our topics to a generalized point of view, something that can be discussed regardless of time frame. So, like I said, the subject has come up multiple times, and I've kind of refused to really express anything on it, just to save the civility of comments and conversation. So, politics in general. Where do I lie on politics? Where do you guys lie on politics? So I guess I'll touch on the subject. So I am very much a conservative type of politics guy. Maybe not on every platform, but that they stand on, but on a lot of it. I am very into, well, obviously this is a video game about logging. So I'm very, very heavily into the resource industries, mining, logging, pipelines, anything that produces money in an industrial form, I am very supportive of, mostly because my entire family, and I mean, I'm sure this comes from lots of people, but my entire family, my entire life, my entire community has grown up basically surviving on these industries, and they've made us what we are today. So I do have a lot of respect for the corporations that keep us alive, working, keep us well-fed, pay us well, give us benefits, all that stuff. So I am a very large supporter of that. With that, I will say I am also mentality-wise a little bit on the left side as well when it comes to sustainability. So as much as I do support logging and I push logging, and obviously with all of this you can see how much I love it, I do believe in doing it in a respectful way to the environment that allows it to be sustainable, which most mills and companies do. So that means not completely destroying the land, not completely eradicating all the species of creatures, and doing it in a responsible way. So by saying that, like I said, I do really want to see that logging companies and mills are doing things properly. They're not just going totalitarian in there and ripping it out and burning it to the ground and walking away and not having any responsibility. Luckily, our mills that we have locally here, and I know this from working at them, have huge programs about reforestation, because a lot of the companies up here back in the 60s and 70s weren't thinking about that stuff. They thought, oh, geez, okay, well, we'll just kind of cut the trees down. There's always trees, no matter what. And then as they got closer to more the 80s, 90s, they started realizing, hey, guys, if we keep cutting down the trees at the rate we're cutting them down, because forestry was an intense industry back in the early 80s, 90s, they came to the conclusion there's not going to be any frickin' trees left if we keep this up. So they developed lots of forestry plans in order to replant, which is why tree planters became such a popularity up here for work, because lots of the mills put huge money into implementing those programs to reforest the land. And now they're actually cutting second, third gen timber up here. I think it's even more than that. I don't know the details on that part, but forests that were planted back in those days, they're actually starting to log them again because of the sustainability it caused. So it actually worked out really well. So as long as a company is following those, rules and making sure that they're doing it in a semi-respectful manner, then I do indeed have a great amount of support for that. So yes, on the political spectrum, I am very much a right-wing for sure in the terms of economy, money, growth, that kind of stuff. But as long as it's done in a manner that's, respectful to the environment. Now, our biggest battle that we have in Canada right now, as some of you Canadians who are watching know, is problems with the pipelines going in with LNG, that kind of stuff. That's a big battle right now. Now, I'm not going to comment too deeply on my opinions on that one, because that one could potentially get myself in a little bit of trouble. But let's just say I do support the pipeline that's coming in. I've seen I know a lot of people that work on the teams, because a lot of the people I used to work with in the bush are people that are working on these projects. A lot of the stuff they're doing is very, 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 very safe compared to previous projects that were built back in the olden days, I guess you could say. There's a lot of protocols in place to make sure that you can't just go in there and go crazy. It is a natural gas project, so it's a lot cleaner as well. It's not going to be you're not going to be worried about oil spreading all over the forests, because it is in fact natural gas. Yes, natural gas pipelines do explode when some hardcore damage is done to it, but it's still minimal damaging compared to, say, an oil spill in the ocean. So, all arguments aside, I've heard all the different sides, as our community is very, very much tied right in the middle. Like I said, it's only about 40 minutes away from the main site where the big battle's happening between the local police, or I guess it would be the provincial police, and the protesters that are fighting it right now. So I get to hear both sides very clearly every day at work, in public. And I can definitely understand both sides, but at the end of the day, and I've seen it before, and I do stand by my opinion regardless of how much unpopularity it would get, it is all down to money. So as much as the protesters want to see it all stopped, it's really funny how last time when this happened, and this has happened multiple times, once the right amount of money started showing up in their villages or places, or to the right people, suddenly the protests just miraculously disappeared. So if someone, and this is my respect, if you are 100% protest, diehard fan, crazy, want something done, then stick by your guns, right to the end. If I had a passion about something, I'd stick to it right to the end. But what's happening is a lot of these protesters come up with a big, raging, crazy, angry start, saying, 100% you're all done for, the pipeline, blah, 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 blah. And then suddenly, a few paychecks later, going to the right people, and they all disappear. It's like they never existed. They don't even talk about it on Facebook anymore. It's all gone. Like history. Oops. Oh, man, making a mess here. Just a big history. Actually, we're just going to leave the rest of them. I can try to fit more on here. So, yeah. The only reason I don't consider myself biased just because I've seen it happen up here. This will be the third, if not fourth time I have seen a new devastating protester rally start up with the same people saying the exact same thing, and then as soon as they get their little paycheck from the government or from whatever party needs to pay it, they all disappear. Suddenly it's not a problem anymore. Oh, the environment? Oh yeah, no, it's good now. We don't have to worry about it. So my argument side is, if you're going to be a diehard protester, then why is it when the paycheck comes out, all of a sudden, all your values for being a protester are suddenly just washed away? It's not a problem anymore. And that's one of the main reasons I can't get behind the whole people protesting thing, because I do think it is kind of funny that they kind of fold like that. But again, it doesn't matter what I say. There's always going to be someone with some historical case that they can pull out of their butt from 50 million years ago that happened that relates somewhat to what I'm talking about and proves me wrong or proves me right. So I don't really care anymore. I'm just like, you know what? Everybody's just going to do their thing, and we'll see what happens in the end. That's pretty much what it comes down to. I think if I take this left, I can get to the mill quicker here. But yeah, so I'm going to ask you guys in the comments, and I'm just saying, guys, be civil. Most of you people are interested in logging, interested in this kind of stuff, so I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of controversy in the comments, because I think a lot of people agree on the subject quite well. But there is a strong chance we'll see lots of people who disagree, and that's totally fine. Again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. So, you know, if there starts getting some controversial comments in videos like this, just go with the flow, man. I mean, prove your points, have your conversation, but don't fight with each other. That's all I ask. Because controversy... Oh, jeez, how much do we get for that? Oh, my thing is that... Nice. 18,000. Okay, so we got to add that to our total here. Where's our thing? There we go. 18,000. So we're going to use our calculator because Jordan's bad at math. Classic times. My calculator is not working on my desktop, so we're going to use the one on my phone. So 72. Oh, actually, I forgot to take my... Was it daily upkeep's $2,000? I thought it was monthly. Daily upkeep. I can't remember how I did that. Was it supposed to be every day? I was supposed to take $2,000 off? Well, I guess we're going for it. Got to pay them bills. So 72,000. Okay, so we'll go 70,000 plus what did I say? 18,000? Oops, 1,800. So it would be 88, right? And plus 18,000. 88. Ha! See, my math skills aren't as bad as I thought. Just kidding, they're horrible. So 88,000, that's not bad. And we're getting close to the end, so we'll get 30K at the end of it. It's really the wood that's going to give us the profit on this one, I think. All right, well, let's just bring this guy home because we're not going to have enough time to get another trip in there. So let's pull our ramp up. We'll bring this back to the uncles. And then we'll continue on. I think we should be able to get this wrapped up here within the next couple episodes. Can I get down here? Is this a road? Oh, it is a road. Thank the Lord. There's a bush on my road. All right. So, yeah. Politicals aside, like I said, I don't usually talk about politics in videos, and I guess we'll see how it goes, but I do want to hear your opinions. You know, what do you guys think? Where do you sit politically? And I mean, this is entirely personal information, so you don't have to share it, obviously. I'm just freely doing it for my own fun. But where, if you want to share it, where do you sit politically? Why do you sit there politically? And, you know, what subjects or controversies have come up with you or your friends about this stuff, and how have you tackled it? Like I said, I really do enjoy reading the comments from you guys. So, oh, you know what? Actually, before we park her for the day here, I just wanted to do a double take on this hill to see how many trees were here. Where was it? I think I just continued down this road. It was right next to that farm, which I think was down here. Oh, stop sign. Respect the stop signs. It's like how I drive in real life. Sure. I think it was right past the end here. The reason I'm going down here is I just want to see how close we are if I decide to rent equipment. Was it this hill? No. Just a second, I'm going to park this. Oh, it's on the other side of that brick building, so I'm going to see if can I cut through this guy's little field here? He's got like a house. Okay, sorry bro, we're going to cut through your field. We're not going to run through his nice field, but we're going to ride the edge of it here. And it's on the other side. It was on the other side of the brick wall. That's what I remembered. We're going to do a little detour. Oops, I touched the corn. All right, let's go whip through here. Yes. This is the other side of this cozy wall. Yeah, it was in. Right here. This hillside, I think it was. I'm just going to pull off to the side here and do another quick check. Yeah, so it was this entire hillside from the brick wall to the other side of the road. Recovery of those trees is going to be a pain in the butt, I'm going to tell you right now. But we have to take out this whole hill. And, yeah, we might even have to do some plowing. I don't think I'm going to plow the whole hill, but we'll do right up from the top road down to there. That'll be a big project, but it's $100 grand. And I mean, honestly, with how many trees are there, I think we should be able to pull that off. We might have to get a little creative with our buncher, because those trees are the absolute worst to bunch. Although the worst to do anything with, because as you saw before, the parts and pieces kind of get hung up and they're not the right size and da-da-da-da-da-da. But we did make quite a bit of money off one tree. I mean, that was like 18 grand for one tree. Well, it was a little bit, it was like a tree and a bit, I guess, because we went and took from the other pile too, so. But that's okay. All right. And we don't need to stop here, but we do need to stop here, I think. Oops, did I drive past my place here? Man, I get so turned around in this town. This is the most confusing place. Oh, there's the shop. Okay, oh no, we gotta keep going. Past the shop. Past the shop, first stop sign, take a right, I think. I could be wrong. Oh, I'm wrong. We're gonna do a loop. We were at the place. I drove right past it, didn't I? I was like so busy looking at that stop sign. I'm like, no, it's by the stop sign. Take a right before the stop sign. So let's back. Oops, let's back this bad boy up in here. Beauty. All right, we'll park her there. So yeah, when we come back to the next one, we'll keep cutting. We still got 2 more trees to our cool 30 grand. Like I said, we get to pick up all the little parts and pieces, so we'll make a little bit of money off that. And regardless of the subjects we discuss on these videos, please keep it calm in the comments. I'll keep an eye on it, but I think you guys are all good, well-rounded people mind-wise, so it should be fun. Anyway, if you guys like the video, leave a like, leave a comment. Do not forget to subscribe. And if you're in the bush, don't forget to hug a tree. All right, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.